Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Before I want to begin, I want to remind everyone that every woman and some men have a story. Some are awful, many are devastating, including the women in this House themselves, like myself. And if anyone is feeling affected by this debate, either in the House or watching online, about the issues raised in this debate, please reach out to the many amazing organisations. And if you're in Milton Keynes, MK Act is your partner. But it's for women like myself and the women in Milton Keynes that I want to extend my thank you to the member for Birmingham Yardley and the member for Pontypridd, because it's women like you that are making our lives safer. Thank you. Previous governments have treated violence against women and girls as an inevitable, or, more recently, a political opportunity instead of the national emergency that it is. I feel sorry for the member from East Grinstead and Uckfield, who I know feels strongly on this. But I'd like to know who's not in this room today. Not a single Reform MP. Shows how much they care. No show from the Shadow Home Secretary, who also said he really cared about the issue. No show from the Shadow Justice Secretary, who also said he cared about this issue. I guess they only care about it when they can put out Facebook ads afterwards. We are sick and tired of seeing women and girls facing the same threats of violence and abuse generation after generation. After Sarah Everard was killed, women across the country demanded action, but too little changed. After Renee Uded was killed, we expected major overhauls of policing and the criminal justice system, but barely anything was done. After the reports and the reviews, not a single recommendation was enacted. The passive response from previous governments to these devastating crimes is frankly hopeless. It's the constant frustration for those of us that care, the mourning, the tragedy, the inevitability of male violence against women and girls in this country is exhausting, but we will never stop fighting. Every new case that makes the news, killed by a husband, killed by a boyfriend, killed by a stranger, killed by an ex, it's a gut-wrenching reminder that you are never safe. Your daughter, your mother, your friend, your sister may never be safe either. It has to stop. And it happens everywhere, in every corner of this country, in every community. Unfortunately, it happened on Christmas Day in Milton Keynes, when two women, Joanna Pearson, 38, and Deona Grant, 24, were killed. And while the previous government did not do enough, they did not create this crisis alone. So how do we sort it? By understanding it. And it starts in this House by becoming the first white ribbon parliament in the world. And I'm grateful for the support from the Leader of the House, the Speaker, and the three Madam Deputy Speakers in making this the first white ribbon parliament. And we have to understand online radicalisation. A generation of young men are being raised in radical anti-women spaces online. This used to be a niche place that you would have to search to find on some kind of Telegraph or 8chan channel. It has now been mainstreamed. Growing up, our children only heard these kinds of jokes from the drunk uncle in the corner that everyone ignored. Now it is there every day and has become popular with young and older men with aspirational lifestyles. I've spoken before about Andrew Tate in this House, but he's just one of an endless supply of misogynists repacking hate for women as standing up for men. These tactics used by these men and this content to radicalize men in this country is the same psychological process used to radicalize Islamic extremists. Yet the law, the press and the public do not treat it the same. Yet the harm is extreme. One woman killed every week in the UK, and the average age for rape is now 14 years old. And this has been compounded by violent pornography. One young man, talked to by Laura Bates, who is fantastic on this issue if anyone wants to read more, she asked, Why didn't you stop crying? Why didn't you stop when she was crying? And he looked back at her bewildered and said, it's normal for girls to cry during sex, isn't it? This is what our young people and older are facing. So in conclusion, we have to strengthen the online safety bill. We have to ensure the criminal law is robust and can keep pace with the emerging issues of technology, especially when we have social media czars pushing their radical free speech agenda policies which make our children less safe. We have to step up to prevent online radicalisation of our young men and boys and keep our women and girls safe on and offline. I believe this government's mission to have VOG, and I'm proud of the work we've done so far, and I'm proud of the women leading this effort. No one where a woman can exist, to build the world where women can exist in online spaces without being exposed to sexist put down, and where we don't have to say, this happened to me. Thank you.